because it's all about stop or I'll shoot. And that's not just a sadistic cop, that's the government talking to you. Stop or I'll shoot. Stop or I'll kill you. Do what I said at the point of this gun or I will kill you. That's what it's about, the death penalty, expanding the death penalty to cops, expanding the death penalty to stand your ground on the street to some person that has a license to kill granted to them by the government. We've got to understand those issues. And we've got to organize locally to fight back. We've got to organize those citizen review boards that have power to bring people to court, to punish people who are sadistic and who kill people because they can. It's tough when you're pulled over for a police stop and your life is in danger because you have a busted tail light, or your life is in danger because you made an illegal U-turn, or your life is in danger because somebody thinks that a nigger is an animal and I can kill him and get away with it because nobody's going to say anything. And the police are always right. And we send the police out to investigate the police. And most of the time, 99% of the time, the police come back and say it was a justified kill. Because it's our culture of violence from the top to the bottom. And we can't just, as I said, we can't just say to those police walking the streets, and we've got to respect, because we're peace people, we're progressives. We're trying to respect the humanity of those people that are supposed to be keeping the peace. Keeping the peace. Not law enforcement, keeping the peace. Because if people don't respect the law, no amount of forcing them to respect it at gunpoint is going to do. People have to respect the fairness of the law. They have to respect the fairness of those that enforce the law. And it doesn't have to be all about a gun. So when we go out this fall, we ought to demand those politicians, first of all, I said, revisit this idea as it relates to police violence, that it ought to be always shoot to kill. We need to take that power from the police. At the national level, we ought to demand that politicians ought not be so quick to take us to war. And we ought to hold all of them accountable and not give anybody a pass. We ought not think that just because President Obama, and he's got a nice wife and a nice family and they look good, black guy, he might do better, he might understand something. Well, I know a lot of black politicians that follow that corporate line, that believe that money is power, that believe that they're put in power for Wall Street, that they're put in power for the people that have the money and the control. We've got to hold them accountable. If we have to go to general strikes and sit out working, if we have to do like the people in Ferguson and block the interstates, if we have to fight back against the police and stand and say no more, if we've got to do what y'all did in Wisconsin, we were so proud of everybody that went down to the state capitol in Wisconsin, sitting back in South Carolina and seeing Matthew get arrested and seeing people singing in the state capitol. That brought a lot of hope to a lot of people. Wisconsin means something to somebody from South Carolina who lives in the heart and soul of the Confederacy, who lives in a state where every street is named after a Confederate hero, in a state where a Confederate flag flies on the State House, in a state where people are proud that they succeeded from the Union, that the street that runs in front of the State House is named Robert E. Lee Highway. We were proud to see the people of Wisconsin stand up and lead the progressive movement. I want y'all to continue to lead that movement, continue to be the champions that you are. I'm so thankful that Matthew invited me to be here today. It's kind of cold here. I was 90 degrees. Yeah, I know it's warm. I joked on the way. I understood why slavery lasted so long, because it's cold up here. And I invite y'all to be side by side with me in this movement that we're going to build. It's movement time. It's movement time in this country. It's movement time. It's time to get back in the streets. It's movement time. It's time to rebuild coalitions. It's time to rebuild multiracial coalitions. It's time to rebuild multi-issue coalitions. It's movement time. It's movement time. Power to the people.